The soldiers of the 3rd Assault Brigade were sent to knock out the Russian invaders near the village of Rydkudub. The brigade shared that their units have already conducted successful raid and strike operations. The enemy is intensifying active assault operations along the entire front line. Nevertheless, the 3rd Assault Brigade not only holds back the onslaught, but also counterattacks the enemy, reinforcing adjacent units. As a result of the offensive, a platoon of the 283rd Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 144th Division of the 20th Army of the Russian Federation was eliminated. Later, the brigade's fighters cleared the enemy positions and gained a foothold. The efforts of the 3rd Company of Karakurt Colony of the 2nd Mechanized Battalion improved the tactical position of Ukrainian forces in the area. At the end of May, Russians advanced near the village of Rydkudub in the Donetsk region. From Rydkudub, the invaders can advance toward the town of Lyman and the Oskil River, followed by the town of Izium. Lyman is operationally important as it gives control over a key road crossing over the Seversky Donets. In 2022, when the city was under occupation, the Russians tried to gain a foothold along the river. However, on October 1st, 2022, under pressure from Ukrainian forces, the Russians retreated from the city. Recently, the Ukrainian Defense Forces also destroyed an assault-armored group of Russian troops near Yablunivka in the Donetsk region. Precision strike by Black Sky UAV unit, another group of Russian troops eliminated in Donbass. The situation on the battlefields of Donbass remains intense, with Russian forces pushing hard along several axes, but suffering high losses. Near Chasiv Yar, heavy fighting continues as Russian assault units attempt to break into the town's eastern outskirts. Ukraine is holding defensive lines with a mix of infantry, drones, and artillery, inflicting significant casualties on advancing Russian troops. Further north, in the Sloviansk-Kramatorsk direction, Russian attacks have intensified, but progress remains limited due to well-prepared Ukrainian positions. Around Avdiivka, Russian troops are trying to exploit recent gains by pressing toward Toretsk and New York, but muddy terrain and precise Ukrainian fire are slowing their advance. In the south of Donetsk Oblast, Ukraine reports daily skirmishes near Vuhledar and Marinka, where the front line remains largely static. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces continue to target Russian supply lines, electronic warfare systems, and artillery depots deep behind enemy lines using drones and HIMARS strikes. The overall picture in Donbass shows Russia throwing in manpower and firepower, but Ukraine is absorbing the pressure and bleeding the attackers at a high cost. Russia struck a village in Sumy region overnight with a massive drone attack. 3 killed, including an 8-year-old boy. 6 more injured, among them 3 children. Around 30 homes damaged. The strike targeted a settlement near Verkhnya Sirovatka around midnight local time, Governor Oleh Hrihorov said on Telegram. The victims included an adult man and woman, and the child. As of 7 a.m. local time, 6 people, including 3 children, have been reported injured. All have been hospitalized and are receiving medical care. The attack damaged about 30 residential buildings and 4 cars, and sparked a large-scale fire. Police investigators, rescue workers, and medics are responding at the scene. Sumy Oblast, which borders Russia, has faced intensified assaults in recent weeks amid a broader Russian offensive along Ukraine's northeastern border. Since March, Russian forces have reportedly captured around 200 square kilometers in the region, prompting evacuations from over 200 settlements. Ukrainian forces, however, have been reportedly driving Russian troops back amid the continued cross-border attacks. Just when you thought this week couldn't get any weirder, Trump drops a message on his Truth Social account showing a message from NATO Sec Gen Mark Rutte calling his Iran strike truly extraordinary and claiming Europe is going to pay in a big way and it will be your win. This is a very cheesy move, by the way, because you can't publish private messages. That's just rotten. Mr. President, dear Donald, congratulations and thank you for your decisive action in Iran. That was truly extraordinary and something no one else dared to do. It makes us all safer. You are flying into another big success in The Hague this evening. It was not easy, but we've got them all signed onto 5%. Donald, You have driven us to a really, really important moment for America and Europe, and the world. You will achieve something no American president in decades could get done. Europe is going to pay in a big way, as they should, and it will be your win. Safe travels, and see you at His Majesty's dinner. Mark Rutte. Zelensky. Grateful to Mark Rutte for the invitation to the NATO summit. It's a clear signal Ukraine remains high on the agenda. We aligned steps ahead of the summit and discussed expectations. Ukraine counts on strong signals in the final declaration, especially on air defense and support for domestic defense production amid continued Russian attacks.
I'm thankful for our strong friendship to you and all allies.
NATO has invested almost 37 million euros in satellite communications for the Ukrainian Defense Forces as part of its comprehensive assistance package. The Ministry of Defense press service reported on this. Due to this support, the Ukrainian Army's combat management and information systems have been significantly strengthened. To this end, the military received equipment, software, and technological support that helped strengthen digital resilience and defense capabilities. This was discussed during a meeting between Katerina Chernohorenko, Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine for Digital Development, Marco Criscolo, Deputy Director of the NATO Digital Headquarters, and Ludwig de Camps, Director General of the NATO Communications and Information Agency, NCIA, at NATO headquarters in Brussels. The main results of cooperation so far: almost 37 million euros for satellite communications, including satellite radios, trackers, and services. The total value of the projects is expected to exceed 70 million euros in the coming months. Cooperation and support with the Center for Defense Technology Innovation and Development continue, including interaction with the Delta Combat System Development Team. 3,000 laptops, 728 printers, 485 tablets, 72 monitors, and server and network equipment were delivered to the Ministry of Defense Data Center to support the expansion of the Medical Information System, a key component of the medical reform in the Defense Forces. Increasing interoperability between Ukrainian and NATO capabilities. Ukraine's participation in key NATO initiatives in the field of communications, control, and computers, including federated mission networking, cloud initiatives, and interoperability validation exercises. Equipment, software, and related training to strengthen air defense provided. The Ministry of Defense noted that NCIA is the implementing agency for many projects under the Comprehensive Assistance Package for Ukraine, and also provides advisory and technical support under the bilateral Memorandum of Technical Cooperation between Ukraine and NCIA, signed in January 2022. The Comprehensive Assistance Package for Ukraine is NATO's key instrument for providing practical support. It covers two main areas: non-lethal military assistance in response to Ukraine's requests, as well as long-term projects aimed at capacity building, support for defense and security sector reforms, and post-war reconstruction. Ukraine and NATO will also create a lessons-learned platform for analysis, training, and education based on data from lessons learned during combat operations.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.